Hey, what's up, people? Happy Monday. You got John, Yogi Lewis in the building.
How y'all doing on this great today, on this Monday, June 1st? Halfway through. Are we halfway through yet? We ain't halfway through 2020 yet.
Yeah, we at the halfway point.
We're at the halfway point?
Yeah.
Bro, if I could wake up in the morning and it be 2021, I'll be all right.
We at the halfway point, man, and it's been a crazy first half, brother.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
And,
whew, boy.
And instead of just doing this, just on the incline.
Yes, it is, man.
Completely crazy, man. Completely crazy. So here we are. We got the incident, the tragic incident that happened to George Floyd, who was murdered by a Minneapolis police officer. And since then, the protests are on. People have taken to the streets, and it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. So tonight we want to talk about, since this is a movement, who's leading the movement? So our title tonight is "Take Me to Your Leader." Take me to your leader. The Black community is trying to accomplish something, but who's leading the charge? So we're talking about the business tonight. That's what we're talking about. So let's talk about it.
All right. let me say this before we get started. Man, it's ironic that we would, because as a comedian, a lot of times it's my job to come in and kind of make light or shed light on some of the things that's happening. But very seldom do I find situations or things that I can't, that's not really joke worthy. And there's nothing joke worthy about what's going on.
Right.
Things have never been more serious, and I have never been more serious thinking about them. So I welcome these topics head on. Let's get into them.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
So I find situation.
All right. I'm working through my technology real quick. So
I want
to make sure I get the people involved. All right. So I'm good now. So I'll be able to see the comments. All right. Salena said the world has gone mad. Make me laugh.
Okay, well, I'll do what I can.
It is a serious topic, though. It is a serious topic. So let's start off, because we're doing a protest now. So what's the major problem with the protest right now?
Well, the major problem is we got so many different narratives going on. You got these people over here doing it this way. You got these people doing it this way. You got these people over here doing it this way. And in the midst of all these different groups having their protests, different narratives and different things are kind of breaking out in each one. And you really, to be honest, with the way media is, social media is, you really don't know really what's going on, because people can tell you anything. People can,
right.
That's what because people can tell you anything. And when every time you turn on social media, like, Lord, no.
Oh my goodness.
No, dude.
Oh my goodness. It's like watching a train wreck. You want to turn away, but you can't.
Over and over.
Videos steadily popping up about.
And what social media does is it puts you in the train and having you dealing with each passenger before the train wreck.
Oh.
Each time, each person, it skips over the seat to the next person. Oh, this person got shot. Oh, this person, this. It's like,
yeah.
It's
that's amazing. You get the perspective of the train wreck from each passenger.
Yes.
That's what social media is.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Brother, I don't know if you understood what you just said. Imagine that. You get not only your trauma, but you got to absorb everybody else's trauma behind it by watching what's going on.
Listen, there's been few things to come across where I couldn't sleep at night. Literally, I'm going to sleep watching social media and I can't sleep. The social unrest is real. The things that are happening are real, man. And the crazy thing about it is we asking, where's the leadership coming from? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. Is it the person that's yelling the loudest? Is it the person that's throwing the brick the hardest? Is it the person that's kneeling that's kneeling like this on one who? Because I don't know. I don't know what leadership is. We have yet to come together as a people to say this is what we're going to do. No. This is what we're going to do. No, wait. Now, but this one work better. This one we all over the place, man.
Yeah, Salena said that the problem is there's no leadership, no plan, no strategy. Where is the leadership? People are protesting without direction. And here's what happens when something tragic comes at you, when you're attacked, your brain switches from the reasoning part to the fight or flight part. So the fight or flight portion is kicked in, and we purely running off emotions right now. And that just gets ugly, especially when you feel like you're not being heard. Because Kaepernick took a knee. It was peaceful. What did they do? They shut him down. They kicked him out of the NFL, railroaded him, holding on. Other guys started doing it. The owner said, y'all better cut that out. Right? So here it is. They washed that out. They said, hey, you dishonoring the flag. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm trying to bring light to an issue. Every protest before has been washed out. And it's like, if somebody is trying to communicate with you, but you can't hear them, like if you're on inside and I'm standing outside the glass and I'm yelling your name, John, and you can't hear me, what do? Eventually, I get very animated. I'm jumping.
Yeah.
That's what's going on now. People have become very animated because you didn't hear them the first time.
And also, because there is not one particular plan that we're doing, it's allowing other things to come in to get us off from what we're supposed to be doing. That's where you get the other people coming in, painting and doing that's where you get the other people coming in doing some of the rioting and stuff like that, doing some of the things we don't necessarily want them to do, because I think a couple of people say, oh no, whoa, that's not what we out here doing. Well, that's what they say, but somebody else across the street say that's exactly what we out here for.
Right.
If we don't, when there is not a plan, generally someone will give you one or make up their own on the fly. And I think because I'm seeing more and more. I think there was the two Chinese girls. They were tagging everything, and one of the girls looked. She's like, "What are y'all doing? Y'all not helping?" But they thought they were. Now, my understanding is what they said to her was, "We out here trying to help y'all because there's no plan. You leave it up to everybody's own device on what helping actually is."
Right. So, okay, the weekend has gone. There are protesting that's still happening. There's a protest going on in Frisco. It may be over now. It was a peaceful march. It was a march. It was what it was, rather than the rioting that everybody is talking about. But they arrested a guy today. They arrested a guy who was among the protesters, a white guy who set fire to some kind of building. They arrested him. He set fire to a building. But here's the thing. You're right. Without us saying we're protesting and this is what needs to happen,
Yes, this is how we're
They're
doing it.
interpreting it the way
Yes.
they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, the backlash is coming to us.
Exactly. Because when it's funny, I was looking at a picture of some looting going on today. And they must have had a sale because everybody was in there. So they showed me at first everybody coming through the place. And then they went right to the register. And we was the one going to the register, pulling out the money. And I said, everybody is looting. I mean, everybody. They were all colors looting. But they specifically went into the cash register, and that was us. That was us. I mean, that was us. And I'm saying,
right.
That's not what we want to be doing. That's not what we want to be doing.
No.
It's not what we want to be doing.
You're absolutely right. Latasha said, but they knew exactly what they were doing. It's an organized group that is anti-everything. This just gives them the excuse to come out and actually do it. Now, she brings up a great point, because the people who are in sabotage mode are organized.
Yes.
They have strategized and thought. They are setting out bricks.
Okay.
Areas where they're protesting.
Because they know we not organized. Because if we were organized, it would be no room for them. When we would just walk right on by those bricks and everything else if we were organized.
Better yet, we would put people over by the bricks to make sure nobody touches them.
It's true. Yes, because we would have an anti organized people.
Right, because if you understand protest, you have to prepare for every scenario.
That's true. It's just like a war. War. Yeah.
You go back to the civil rights movement. They would, before they would do a sit-in. A sit-in was when they would go into a restaurant or something and sit at the front counter where they wasn't allowed, or they would go somewhere where blacks specifically were not allowed. They would do mock sit-ins where they were shouting at them, yelling at them. I mean, taking them there emotionally in a controlled setting before they actually got to the actual event. So this is not the first time they're feeling the emotions. This is not the first time that they're going through this anger and all of this, so they can better handle it, because it's not the first time. They've had a dry run first. But that's organization that we don't have right now that we need to have.
Could you imagine sitting at one of them sit-ins and them people yelling and cussing and fighting you and biting you and snarling at you, and you order some a ham and cheese sandwich and it was terrible? Could you imagine? Be like, you mean to tell me I done sat through all of this and this what the food is like? Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all
right.
out.
You mess up and catch one of them whites only pies, brother. Catch one of them whites only pies.
Oh, you're in trouble there.
Melody said, not all of them are anarchists. A lot of us are young and know nothing about Dr. King and protest.
That's true.
Oh my goodness, that's a great point. Why don't we know? Why don't we know what they went through? Why don't we know the story?
Because we haven't told our kids about it. I am so guilty of this, because I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm acting like my kids don't see what's going on. So when they come down and ask me about it, I'll give them a quick answer to try to move them along, because I don't want to. It's like talking about an uncle that because he's a family member, you don't really want to talk about some of the issues that he have. So you keep letting that the one that you don't want to let the kids go around. But rather than tell the kids, you don't tell the kids why not to go around. You say, don't go over there. You don't go over there. Right. It's just like that. It's just like that, because I don't want to tell my kids how messed up the world is. I don't want to say, man, son, listen.
Think about this. Would it be better for you to pull off the rose-colored glasses, or the world to?
Me, because the world, they're gonna beat that. Yes, it will be. And you bring a really good point, and I think that's why I'm glad this is coming up because I need to talk to them about it because I have one. You bring a really good point, and I need to do that. That's something I need to do. But to be honest, I don't know I don't know how do you do that? How do you say, "Ooh, boy, it's gonna be some"? How do you even begin to do that?
And see, we talk about everything else in our groups of friends because we have friends, we have groups of friends, but this doesn't come up a conversation. How do I have the conversation with my kids about race and where we've come from, where we are now, where we need to go, just the whole nine? How do I actually have this conversation with the younger generation? Maybe we need to talk about it as adults and talk about the business so that we can actually have that conversation with young people.
That's true, and you're right. You are right, and I think I'll feel a lot better talking about sex with them than I do about racism.
Wow.
That's easier for me.
Wow.
Because that's something. Because if I tell you to keep your pants up and have her to keep hers up, I'm halfway home. But with racism, I'm good. I'm winning because everybody got their pants up. I'm winning. But with racism, man, everything is predicated on what somebody else is doing, how somebody else sees you. It's not even about how you see yourself. It's how somebody else sees you. And I can't explain that. I can't wrap my head around trying to explain that to them.
So Natalie Brown, she says, we need to use our economic power to spark systematic change. And now she's getting to the meat. This includes African Americans, Native Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanics, all people of color. Together we have, $3.9 trillion in economic spending power. We can use these dollars to invest in and spend at minority-owned businesses. The bus boycott created change in civil rights movement because it impacted the economy.
But the difference between then and now is there was a clear and concise leader. Everybody was on the same page. Now I personally, and I have been wrong. Can we move her because her writing is off? Okay.
I got you.
Okay. I have been wrong before, and I'm gonna preface by saying this. I don't believe that we can all be on the same page. As Black people, I don't believe that. You certainly not finna allow some other nationalities to come in and we're gonna be okay with them because they don't understand our struggle. So I'm certainly not gonna listen to you because we going through something that y'all really don't understand. Y'all seen it or read about it, but y'all don't really understand what we doing. So why would y'all get in the car with us and ride with us on this?
Now I will say this. Blacks are in a unique position in this country. As far as suffering, Native Americans and Blacks, we hold a suffering card because Native Americans suffered behind this. African Americans, Blacks suffered slavery. The whole nine. But everybody who's come to this country that wasn't of the majority have suffered. They've gone through some things. And I get what you're saying, but if she said, $3.9 trillion, a lot
of money.
That gets attention.
Yes, it does.
That gets attention. But she brings up a great point. This is my next question. Why is the progress African Americans are seeking, the freedom we're demanding, so difficult to achieve?
Well, again, just like we're not all on the same page. Now, like Natalie was saying, if we could just get on the same page with Black people, and then we can incorporate everybody else in it, we could, let me tell you something. If we generate $1 billion in haircut stuff, just Black women in haircut, I ain't even talking about the nails and the
right.
And none of that stuff. If we could generate, now that brings a really good point. If you want to make change, get in pockets. Get in the pocket. Say we not gonna do this until, but we not. Are enough of us gonna be on board with it to really make a change? And I don't believe they will. I don't. We won't turn off the TV. We won't turn off Super Bowl. We won't turn off football. We won't turn off basketball. Because we could make some change. We can hurt some pockets just from in our houses if we won't do it. Yeah. I don't think enough of us to do it.
Tarsha says we can't bring someone else in because we low key don't support our own. So, well, going back to your point, we need to kind of clean our house up, get our act together, and then say, okay, now y'all come on, we ready now.
Yes, but until black businesses get to where they're supposed to be, y'all can miss me with the support the black business thing.
So what's the big issue there? Now let me say this. I'm gonna put it on there before we forget. There's supposed to be a blackout date for us not to spend. July 7th. So July 7th is the date where we're supposed to do a blackout, an economic blackout, where we're not spending.
Not supposed to spend where?
What's the I guess spend where we normally spend. So if we're not supporting black businesses, going to other places. So just not spend, period.
Okay. Well, are there enough black businesses out there to support? Wait a minute. You just contradicted yourself, John. Support black business. I'm not Latasha, excuse me. I am not saying don't support black businesses. I'm simply saying that as black people, we have to have our level to the business to where whites have their businesses, and we don't feel like that we giving somebody something, because it asks. So the question remains: why aren't we supporting them now? Why does something like this have to happen in order for us to support black businesses? We should be supporting them anyway because they're black, but we don't, and that's the bigger question.
So to your point, why do I have to sacrifice quality and good service just to support a black business? Why can't black equal excellence? Why can't black equal quality? So when I support black businesses, I know I'm supporting quality. I'm gonna tell a quick story real quick. I was in Atlanta. Oh my goodness. I was in Atlanta one time. Me and my wife at this restaurant, went to a birthday party. Now, the birthday party we were at, the guy had somewhere around between 30 and 40 people there. The food was great, had great quality food. And a fight breaks out between the guy who had the party and the staff at the restaurant because they were nickel and diming him on everything. He had already paid a deposit, and now they were trying to get more money out of him instead of recognizing the opportunity, because you had 30 to 40 mouthpieces in there who could have talked about not only was your food good, but your service was good as well. But missed that opportunity because we were trying to grab everything up front and say, okay, how much business can I generate on the back end from this opportunity? And I don't know if we understand that overall. Why don't we understand that as business people overall?
Well, we don't. I think we don't understand because we short-sighted. I think if we had been looking at the bigger picture, I think he would have understood that I got butts and seats, and if I give them superior service, they'll all tell somebody who will tell somebody who will tell somebody, rather than we want to make the money right now.
I remember. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I remember I was listening to a guy, George Fraser. George Fraser is he's a popular speaker, motivational speaker. And he said, make a client, make a sale. You make a friend, you make a fortune. Meaning your goal is to befriend the people that come in, to try to get them a great experience, rather than just trying to get that money out of them right there. If you create a better experience and get them on your side, you can make a fortune at that point. But that's something that's lost, and we need to recognize that.
Because think about this. if you have a black business now, and you were struggling up to this point, you were working on your quality and trying to get everything where it needs to be, and now they're talking about having a blackout on July 7th, and we were forced to come to your establishment or to frequent you, whoever you are and whatever you do. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for us to come to you and give you our business? Are you gonna give me good service when I come away? I'm gonna say, wow, I got a new business I'm gonna go to. Or we're gonna say, whoo, boy, I'll be glad when the 8th comes, because this ain't working out for me like we thought. And I'm just saying, this is some things that we have to try to clean up. I mean, we got to take, if we clean this up, it'll make it easier for us to self-sustain ourselves, man. We gotta clean some things up.
Okay, so Rosalind Walter said, bad business is bad business, no color. As people, we are more critical on ourselves. Yes, we have terrible customer service, but so do non-black owned businesses.
And we don't go to them either.
Yeah,
well, first of all, let me say this. White people have more businesses. So when they get a few that do have bad customer service, we just don't go back to them. Because black businesses are so few and far between, it's imperative that we do our very best with those, because we don't have that many.
Right. Right. No, that's a great point. Because there's so few, then the quality is way more critical. Because the number is so low, the quality is way more critical at that point. But I think black business owners need to understand how critical the quality of the service and the product is, because you are setting the stage for other black businesses. You are setting opportunities for other black businesses to come in and get respect from the jump.
Well, not only that, man, I think with business, period, if you are trying to give me great service and don't give it to me, okay, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you ain't even trying, if it's visibly noticeable that you are struggling and you need to be doing something else, I shouldn't have to tell you that. You probably know that before I'm coming. But again, there's some things we need to clean up. Also,
Natasha said, also, if our businesses are just subpar, we should be willing to give advice so they can be successful. Constructive criticism. How many people are open to it? You a hater. You just don't match. You don't.
Everybody try to hear that. Everybody try to hear that. You know what we're gonna hear? Just let me say this. Know what you're gonna hear? Oh, you let the white man, you go over there to the white man, and he don't do this, do that, you do all that, but then you come up in here and you go, whoa. Because I don't mind paying for good service. We pay, listen, I don't mind paying whoever it is, white, black, purple, pink, Chinese, alien, I don't mind who it is. If you can good service, people don't mind paying for good service, but they want good service though.
Right. You gotta have good service is essential. You gotta have it. But kind of going back, because what exactly are our demands as African Americans in this country? Have we even made that clear? How do we know if we actually won?
I think wins. Okay, let's put it in this perspective. I think there are some small battles we need to win in order to win the war. Okay, I think if we could begin to be treated fairly. Now this may ruffle some feathers, but it's of my opinion that we are policed differently in our black communities. Well, most of our black communities are what's the word I'm looking for? Not as well to do as our white counterpart communities are. That was pretty good. So, and because of that, we are policed differently. Now, the onus of policing differently is on the police, not us. But we have something to do with that, though. We don't police our own communities. The police shouldn't have to come in and police our communities. We should be doing that. We should do that. We should be there because we're not doing it. The police are coming in doing it the way they want to do it. There's what you got.
I think we have abstract goals. We don't have tangible things that we can say, okay, we achieved this. Let's mark it off. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Same thing as we were talking about. Why don't this younger generation know what Dr. King and everybody in the civil rights movement actually did and actually had to go through? It's because we haven't established what the goals are. We haven't established what does it really mean. What does police reform look like for us, to where we can say we're satisfied with the changes that have actually been made? Have we even talked about it as a community? Now, I know we have the Black Caucus and all this type of stuff, and people sit there and they basically just do these grandstands where they get people to clap for them and all this kind of stuff. But how many plans come from the Black Caucus? How many memos go out to the Black community to say, hey, this is what happened at the Black Caucus. This is what was decided as a community. This is what we're working towards. I don't know. I'm just asking. I haven't seen it.
I think though, Derek, I think we would have to say a win is if you stop coming in our communities, killing up these guys randomly. If you start treating us with more, treating us like we were human beings rather than less than a dog, I think that's a start. If we can just start by when you come into the community, don't kill nobody. Leave like you came. Don't you kill nobody. If you could do that, because that's a start. For me, that's a start.
Okay, great point. Now here's the problem. The narrative of blacks are subhuman, blacks are less than, that narrative supports the economic system. So that narrative is put in place so that when somebody black is killed, people don't get all emotional about it. When, you know what I'm saying, it fits into the economic model to keep the majority as the majority, for us to be viewed as such. Because if they ever, that's like you said, if we make a grand push, we come together, we make a grand push, what's going to happen? Just like Rosin said, we tried, they killed our leaders. We have to understand that's going to happen. But are we willing to say, you kill them, we're raising up more? It's going to be more to take their place. Mm-hmm. Are we saying that? Or are we saying, man, I can't deal with the death, so I'll just accept the place that they give us?
I think more of us are accepting the place, but I'm just kind of curious though. I think we might have mentioned this earlier. Because it would seem we at a place now to where everybody is, I can't take no more, and I hope you don't mind me asking, but why now? What happened? What happened to where this is the last straw? This last death was death 200, and the 200 before was just the icing on the cake, but you just put the counting on it, and that's it. We ain't taking it no more. Because I'm curious, because if I can begin to understand what is prompting us at this particular point, then it'll help us decide how we can move forward. But what I'm curious, somebody got to tell me what happened. Go ahead, Derek.
That's a great point, because what black people are experiencing right now, any white friends they have, they're sending them messages. I'm so sorry. If there's anything I can do to support you, let me know. And we have a friend who
just one
goes to a predominantly white church, and the senior pastor reached out to him about having a conversation about what's going on. And my question to him was, hey man, why do they want to talk now? We take it just from Trayvon Martin to where we are now. Yeah. There have been, I don't know, somebody out there tell me how many people have died.
No, don't tell us. No.
No, we need to know how many people have died that we marched about to get to this point to where they say, oh, wow, that is horrible. We got to do something. We need to talk. Why is it now the conversation needs to be had? The conversation needs to be had back when Kaepernick took a knee.
Well, yeah, because I think Melanie Williams Bussey is saying this was so blatant because it was filmed and they just, they're going to reset.
She said this was so blatant. It was filmed. There were witnesses and other police officers there, and they didn't care. It was as though they knew they had complete autonomy to do whatever they want to do with him.
But they didn't just get that today. They didn't just get that when they did that. They've been acting like that.
Right. I can tell you the most. I mean, I see videos and I react to them, but I've never been hit, gut punched like I have with this one when I heard the man call for his mama. Anytime a grown man calls for his mama, he is scared. He has reached the most fearful that you could ever be. And his mama was dead. So it wasn't like she was there to step in, but it's not a mind thing, it's an instinctual thing when you do something like that. And he called for his mama, and dude, that shook me. He knew that, and I think he eventually said something like, basically, that's it. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he actually said something like, that's it. And I was like, oh my God.
It's okay. But now it seems like since this has happened, I've seen the police slam. Remember when they slammed the little girl down over in McKinney? They slammed the little girl down in McKinney. Mm-hmm. They let me see. It was they had a little boy, a little girl, like they might have been 6 or 7, and the police officer was slamming it. Listen, because of social media, you can't tell me this the first time that we got to something that was like, now wait a minute, they doing too much. They've been doing too much. They had just started doing too much. They've been doing too much. And again, and maybe it's with Corona. Maybe we in the house. Maybe because we're in the house. Maybe it's because we got a lot of stuff going on. And because Corona has really made you where you sit up now and you only have time to think. And maybe it made it worse. Maybe this one was the one that everybody sat down and actually saw it and said, oh, that's it. But I'm still trying to figure out. And I hear what you're saying, guys. I'm not saying I don't understand it, but there have been so much more going on before this. But I'm just curious. Oh my goodness, this one is like the fuse that lit dynamite. And I'm like, why? They've been playing with fire for years now.
Yeah. Salena said, Black and brown people have not identified our modern day leader because no one has stepped up to rally the troops and devise a strategy, that's a great point. Because what I want to know, who is the leadership in the Black community right now? Who is it? I know T.I. called for the blackout. I'm not throwing shots at T.I., but is T.I. the leader? Or not saying that it's one person, but who is the collective mindset of people who we're looking to say, hey guys, where do we go from here?
Well, Tasha said the NAACP, and I think that should be a start, at least. That's what that group would be put together for. And I think if, T.I., we appreciate you, but I think it should come from someone that is well versed in some things we're trying to do and what we'd like to do. But again, because we don't have a plan, we still don't really know what it is we want to do. I know, again, we'll start at, if you just stop killing us, can we start right there? Because I think if we do that.
Okay, so the NAACP, my question is, what's the mobilization efforts of the NAACP? What is, as soon as something goes down, Do they send people in to say, okay, protests were going to happen, this is how we're going to do it? Or, y'all, this is what we need to do from here. I haven't seen any communication. Do they have a website? I mean, do they have a Facebook page? What are they putting out that's saying?
How do they keep their jobs? How do they keep their jobs, man? What do y'all do all the time? Listen, you supposed to be sitting in the cut, waiting for these opportunities. You supposed to be ready. You supposed to have a plan in the back room to where this came out. We supposed to be ready, and we still sitting here talking about what we gonna do. What we gonna do? How y'all getting paid? NAACP, y'all shouldn't even cash y'all checks. Y'all shouldn't cash y'all checks this month. Don't you cash them checks?
Okay, so Rosin Walter says some would say Killer Mike, David Banner, Angela Ray, Tamika, Amanda Seals. Okay, so I would say yes, but only for a collective group of probably younger people. You got who's leading the other. That's why I say I'm thinking it probably needs an entity of collective minds. You know, who will Killer Mike and them sitting down with? Because you can't have the younger group or the hip hop culture saying, let's burn it down. And one group saying,
I ain't following no dude named Killer Mike anyway. So you got to put somebody else on that list. I ain't finna follow no Killer Mike. No, y'all can have that. Okay. We need some Pleasant Mike. I'm gonna get stuff done, Mike. I ain't following no Killer Mike.
Okay, so Tarsha said NAACP.org. My thing, Tarsha, you got social media that's lit up. I have not seen any post from the NAACP. Maybe I'm just not in the flow of their social media campaign or whatever, but I haven't seen anything. So if they're going to be the collective group that leads, they need to be present and relevant to where they can get the message out to everybody.
And maybe perhaps if we don't know who they are, maybe that's the start.
Yeah,
maybe we need maybe we need to start reaching out to them. So maybe we need to be talking to them so we know who they are. What are we going to do? What is the plan? Make them come up with something, because obviously somebody been stealing money. Don't you cash them checks now? Don't you cash them checks? Somebody been stealing money. Because, dude, do you know you supposed to be sitting in the cut? They have done enough stuff on social media where you should be devising a plan. That's what you do. That's what you're supposed to be doing. How we on this conversation right now? We don't know them, B.
I'll do you one better. The plan should have been put out way before all this even happened. There should be a collective plan. We should be able to go and pull up a textbook that everybody got in their house to say, this is the proper way to protest. Do not loot, do not riot. Yeah. There should be a textbook for Black people on protesting, since we have to do it so much. Who's going to put that textbook out that everybody should have in their house? It should be like a Bible in people's home now.
But if we had NAACP with all the other nationalities that feel like they want to roll with us, would they come with us then if we had the NAACP leading us?
That's a good point too. But like we said before, it's kind of like we have to get ourselves together and then let's organize with everybody else, because we got work to do.
Wait, Melody, now I don't know if Melody's trying to be funny, but I feel my spirit saying she's trying to be funny.
Melody said, why don't you all join the local chapter and help them? Ouch. Ouch. And you know what? She just reminded me. But this was before we moved. My wife and I was just about to join.
Oh, really?
Before we moved. Before we moved from the place where they had that chapter, and we never asked, do they have one locally? And we probably need to ask, and if they don't, that's actually a really good idea. We need to start an NAACP chapter in Raleigh if they don't have it. She said thumbs up. So We gonna reach out to the NAACP and say, do y'all have a chapter in Wiley? If not, we started.
Well,
how you gonna join something that's not started though, baby? So
they don't have one.
Well, we don't know. We gotta find out. We're gonna find out.
Well, we can start there.
Yeah,
we can start there.
Start there. We ask if they don't, what do we need to do to actually start one here?
Because then from there the cities can link up from there. But that way, because we have to have something that has one in different cities, so we can all kind of reach out to each other, so we're all on the same page. I mean, and that's the biggest thing, man. We just have to we have to start collaborating with other cities. Like Rob, you're absolutely right. But we already have something in place that obviously we're not using. And I think Melody brings a really good point. Maybe we need to start using those things that are in place, man.
Okay, because maybe they don't have the ideas because people haven't joined to give them ideas about,
maybe they
like what's your social media game like? Because
maybe
if it's absent to us, how many other people is it?
That's true. That's man. Wow. Because they just been stealing money.
Kowalski Jones said, "Bring back the Black Panther Party."
Well, there's got to be one in the group, don't? It's gonna be one that say, "Do you not know what them men went through? Do you know they still looking for some of them men right now?"
Now,
Kowalski,
listen.
I understand. They did a lot of good stuff. They really did. They did a lot of great things. But again, go ahead. There, you got something I
was saying the narrative we got about the Black Panther Party was mainly given to us by people who didn't like the Black Panther Party.
That's true. But because we could be doing.
You would have thought Huey P. Newton was a thug. He wasn't a thug. This dude was a doctor. You know what I'm saying?
But we don't have to have a Black Panther Party formed for us to do the things that they were doing there. We should be doing that stuff in our own communities anyway. And that's my point. We don't take care of our own communities. We got to get back to doing some of that. The white man not gonna treat us no better than we treat ourselves. Boy, let me write that down. The white man, cause hello, how do we treat each other? Seriously, I'm so serious. How do we treat each other?
You right. Now, here's the thing. Protests are good for visibility, but there has to be mobility. It's good for drawing attention. We get your attention, but then once we get your attention, we gotta say something. And I don't think we've done a good job of coming together and deciding on what has to be said to where we're all saying the same things, because I can destroy your movement if I can go to different people and get different things. If I had the same thing, no matter who I went to, now I can't just, dismiss what you say. And I think that's what's happening. I think people are dismissing us because we haven't come together to really decide what is it that we're asking. We can't say we want freedom. Freedom is abstract. What does freedom look like? What are the things that'll let you know you're free? And we have to describe those things so that they know, okay, this is something tangible where I have a marker to say this progress has been made.
That you're absolutely right there. But again, I'm beating this like a dead horse though. If we living in communities to where as Black folk or different or whatever your race or nationality, and people are acting the fool next to you or near you, and we don't do something to make things better around us, then we're just as guilty as the police are.
Yeah.
Because it has to be our own responsibility to fix our communities, guys. I don't want nobody to come to us and fix my community up. That should be my responsibility. We're asking about the Black Panthers, we should listen. You vote in city council people and the city council people, and then we vote in the mayor, and then the police chief do. That's where it starts right there, because the police people have to answer to the mayor. Who are we voting in, and do they have our best interest at heart when they vote them in? If If black people come together and say, listen, we got to start putting people in place that's going to look out for us. But first, if we take back our communities, we can control the city council and everything else.
So in politics, how are voices established? What determines if you have a voice in politics?
By the person that you put in, the person that represents you or your community in the. Let
me back up, because I didn't preface that. I don't think we've done a good job of making the demands during political seasons.
No,
I don't think we do a good job of saying what we're looking for from candidates. Exactly. I don't think we have collectively said, if you want our vote, you got to do that. And so my thing is, in order for us to have that voice, to get a voice in politics, it's about economics, man.
It is.
So we got to recognize our economic power.
Enough of us. If you got a judge that's putting black people in jail for crimes that they're not putting white people in jail for, we need to get him out. You got the power to get him out.
We can get him out. My thing is, we have the power not to even let him in. And that's where, because once he's in there, we talk about judges. Once they in there, they in there.
Yeah.
So we gotta make sure they don't get in there. But that means we gotta have a seat at the table. Do we have that seat? Have we done everything we need to do to defend that seat?
No, because we depended on somebody else to do it.
Rather say, okay, when we meeting? We meet next week. Now, for real, if we need to meet, let's do it. Let's meet. Let's talk it out. Because we have people all over this nation. Us having one collective meeting, it's too many voices in the room. So there has to be smaller representation, just like our government is set up. You have a local movement, you have a state movement. We need to strategize like that. Organization, we need to get organized. We need to get organized around this. But we need to get to where we all saying the same things. And that definitely needs to happen. We all need to say the same thing.
We take a city back. Let's start by if we take responsibility for our city and we stay on the government to start doing right by us, they won't have a choice. Or at least they can't come in our community no more and kill people in front of us because we've taken our city. There's going to be consequence if you do that. Because if you control city council and city council is talking to everybody above them, now you have a voice. Because that mayor or whoever wants to be elected again. And if you're not doing right by us, we not. If you ain't for us, you got to catch the bus. Put that on the sticker. If you ain't for us, catch the bus. Write that down.
Write it down.
If you ain't for us, I'm so serious, guys. We got. Listen, the days are long gone for black people being broke. We got money. We can affect change. We got enough money and things to affect change.
3.9 trillion if you pool all that together. But if it's 3.9 trillion, we got a large chunk of that. Because here's the thing. You think about black athletes. Somebody said that. You want to protest. Let's take all of our athletes that are going to the D1 schools. Let's send them to HBCUs. Mm-hmm. Talk about hitting them hard. Mm-hmm. Talk about hitting them where it hurts. Listen, the only problem is when we organize and when we get things together, we have to prepare for the attacks.
And they're coming.
No, they're coming.
Yeah, they're coming.
If they try to start a new NBA without the structure that's set up now, or a new NFL, dude, I'm not talking about trying to get them locked up. I'm talking about coming for their lives. Whenever you start disrupting the money flow, people will come for your life. But my thing is, we have the power to do our own thing. But just like Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they had the model for the black community, you had black-owned businesses from airports to movie theaters to grocery stores to doctor's offices, the whole nine. And people, the whites in the town got jealous and say they don't need to have all that stuff. Why they living better than we are? And they just rolled in and burn the city down. It wasn't until maybe a decade ago that the story resurfaced and we became aware of it. But we have to understand, when we get it rocking in a positive way, be looking, because they want their power and their position and their money. And if we taking it from them, the attacks are coming. The attacks are coming. And this is my charge to the church. Black, white, blue, brown, if you belong to Christ, if you support a system that is upholding unrighteousness, because it's unrighteous for you to look at a person who God created as being less than, you do not belong to Christ. I'm saying it now. You are not what you think you are. Point blank, simple. I don't care if you're a pastor, bishop, whoever you are. If you support the disenfranchisement and even the murder, or a system that does it to anybody who's breathing air, you are not a part of Jesus Christ. Just like that. All I'm gonna say.
Just like that, you just gonna.
So don't come saying you're a Christian if you support it.
Well, which leads me to my next segue, which is kind of there are too many churches in the Black community, in our communities, for them not to have a voice about what's going on. Now, we're talking about NAACP. They should be in connection with the NAACP, the pastors, at least the Black ones anyway, because there are too many. There's a church on every corner in the Black community, and so when we're looking for leadership, there should be leaders all over the place. There should be Christian men, that pastors that are leading us are saying, okay, so what is God saying in these moments? What do we need to do? Well, we're not getting any of that. We're not getting any of that. I almost want to yell out, get that money back, because we ain't getting none of that. Because we're not. I'm so sick. We're not getting none of that.
Right.
And there's the church.
Sacrifice your church funds.
There's a church on every corner, and we asking where the leaders are. Don't y'all go see them every Sunday? But that's.
I got a model for the new pastor, for the new age, for this new movement. I got a model for it. I'll unleash it later. Well, I'll just tell you now. Every pastor that goes to seminary should be shut up, where every pastor takes a year of law, a year of anthropology, which is the study of culture, people and culture, a year of business, and then you get your Bible study, your Bible learning. You need all of that. And in a seminary that's not set up like that, you're not accurately preparing pastors to be leaders in the community. Because now your voice is only valid when it comes to religious matters.
And there's so much more going on in the world rather than just religious stuff, man. I mean, it starts there, but it's so much more. You got to have something to give your people, man.
God's voice is valid in every arena. But if you don't know how to communicate in every arena, you have now limited his voice in those arenas. So you need to learn law. You need to learn business. You need to learn anthropology. You need to learn all of that so that you can effectively communicate and maneuver in every system.
That's good, man. That's good, dude. And if you ain't, that's good. And if you ain't for us, you need to get on the bus. I meant that when I said that. I meant that.
Bottom line, man, needless to say, there is so much work that needs to be done. But my action item, me and my wife's action item, we're going to see about an NAACP chapter here in Wiley. If that's not established, then, because you're right. She's right. What we going to do? We got to do something.
That's what I'm going to say. What you going to do if they don't see how to stay? What you going to do?
We got to do something. We got to get it started. We have to find out what needs to be done and actually get it started if that's what needs to happen. But man, we got to get we need to establish leadership. And I'm not talking about one central person, but I'm talking about a standard and a common understanding that we follow. That has to be established. And we have to do that. But
and me and Cheryl will do the same thing in Allen. And if they don't have one in Allen, we will we will work on that. We will get that started in Allen. Wow, I really didn't anticipate taking nothing back from this, but I guess y'all and gave us some homework now. So
yeah, we got homework, things to do.
Yeah.
I guess tune in next week so we can give you a report. See if we did. Real quick before we go, Tarsha said, look in Dallas also. It may be a larger one. Okay, all right. So I'll do that. So, but my wife said the closest one is Garland. She did just look it up. So the closest one is Garland. So if that serves this whole area, we'll have to become a part of it. But absolutely. Wow, that's the hour, man.
Wow,
that's the hour.
I knew it would go fast, man. And let me say this. Yeah. I was really fearing. This was a lot. This was more enjoyable to talk about than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed understanding and kind of feeling out what people were thinking, what's going on with people, and I hope we've helped you guys in a way to kind of get through some of what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's a serious matter, but they say laughter does good like a medicine. We all need that shot in the arm right now. So, brother, I thank you for just being that comfort relief right now. I know it's hard. I thank you for doing that because it's much needed. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't erase the seriousness of it. We are serious. And, you know what I'm saying? We're Black men. We feel
absolutely.
And so we know things need to be done, but we're committed to taking the steps to do what's necessary. But we thank everybody for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for interacting with us. We appreciate you guys. We do this every Monday. Tell your friends about it and join in with us. And that's it. Any final words, man?
Hey, man, I'm just everybody, y'all stay safe, man. Stay safe. I understand the protesting and you being angry, but be smart about what we're doing because we want to make things better and not worse, guys. All right?
Absolutely. Well, appreciate all of y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Good night.
Good night.
Man, on Monday.